Well, hello, hello, hello. It is another episode of Here's the Thing. I am your host, Jaclyn House. And if you are new to Here's the Thing, here's what we like to do. I talk to local change makers who are really making an impact here in Northwest Arkansas. Today's guest is no stranger to anybody. You all know him by name. Anthony Ball is going to join me here momentarily. You've probably jammed to one of the many bands that he manages. You've probably been to a live concert at the venue in Rogers, the Music Depot. He has touched you some way through music. So he's doing a lot of amazing things, but he also does advocacy work here in our community as a community member, as a father, as a husband, just an overall good human being. So I'm excited to chat with Anthony today about some things that Music Moves is doing, including upcoming Freedom Festival for Juneteenth and getting the lowdown on Music Depot and some other things. Of course, June is Black Music Month, so that is a space that I know that Anthony is very passionate about. So we'll have some fun with that. Maybe find out maybe some of Anthony's favorite songs and talk about, as we're think about America's 250th birthday, how Black music has helped shape America's story. So we will get into that. But first, a little bit of reflection from me. Last week around this time, I went to Charleston with some of my best friends, and a time was had. Let me just tell you, we had a really, really good time. You're looking at pictures from us. We went to a tea at the Hotel Bennett at Carmelia's, I think is the tea spot inside. It was such a good time. It was beautiful. We had little small bites. I was tell you, if you ever go here, I highly recommend doing the tea. The egg salad was top notch, top tier. But there were 14 of us, and I don't know about you guys, but being around my girlfriends and being away for a little bit always helps fill my cup and serves as a really great recharge. There were laughs, there were tears, and so much love. And over the past couple of years, we've learned that life is short, and we've learned that the hard way. And so being intentional about spending time together. And this particular trip, we celebrated my friend Carrie, the beautiful one in the middle with the green on right here. It was her birthday. So we got together to celebrate her because she deserves it. So this was a really, really great time. So I just really wanted to share this photo and just some people who really mean so much to me. The bottom picture you see, these girls and I have been through everything together, marriages, children. We've been together since college. So we've been friends for over 25 plus years, which means we just met 2 years ago because we're all in our 20s. Anyway, we have been together for so long and have been through so much together. So just wanted to share that. And hopefully you are able to take some time and really focus on the people you love and those who love you right back. And I always feel that when I'm kind of off kilter, my friends are very good at helping me center back. Of course, outside of my family, but these girls are my family. Our kiddos call each other, cousins, and to each other we're Aunt Jackie, T Jackie, T Sonia, and all of us. So we are very close. And so just a little reflection today, because that was just really on my heart to share. Again, just hoping that when you find yourself, a little off, as I feel like I am sometimes, lean on those who love you. They'll be there for you, and you'll see that helps recharge you. So we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we will be talking to the one and only Mr. Anthony Ball. Welcome back to Here's the Thing, the man, the myth, the legend. I mean, for real, Northwest Arkansas, West Memphis legend, Anthony Ball joining me today for Here's the Thing. Anthony, what's up?
What's going on, man? This is so fun.
I will tell you, I appreciate you so much, Anthony, because I know a lot of times, when I'm reaching out to you for morning interviews and stuff, it could be the day before, and you I'm there, I got you. I was texting yesterday. I was like, hey, can you come Wednesday? And you're like, I'm busy, which I know you are. And I was like, well, I do have the next day. And you were like, works even better. So I appreciate you for letting me call on you late in the midnight hour.
Here's the secret, Jackie. You know I love y'all. You know, you and Raymond, I love you guys, but I don't do anything in the morning. So I'm always available for you.
Okay. Well, you listen. No, you are. You have 2 kids. You're a husband.
Yes,
like you're busy in the morning.
Yes. I started walking in the morning. That's where I manage my stress.
I love
and gain my peace back a little bit. So I had to cut that a little bit short, but it's always a real blessing and a real honor to come and be with you, man. I'm serious about that.
Thank you. I feel the same way about you as well. Of course, June is Black Music Month.
Yes.
I know that's something near and dear to your heart. Freedom Festival back for another year, Anthony. Give us just a little bit of the history of starting Freedom Festival.
Yeah, man. So long. I'm gonna do the longer version. If that's okay,
we got time.
You said this is the longer version.
Yeah.
So you know, when I moved to Northwest Arkansas, I was bombarded, you know, in a positive way with so many different you know, traditions and cultures. Right. The Black community is really small here, but there's a strong Black community here, and with me being in events. I was a part of all of these celebrations, these cultural celebrations. You know, Papa Rap with Arkansas and the Spanish, you know, international festival that used to happen, and you know, Ravi and the Indian court. You know, the Marshallese community here. Like all these communities had these beautiful cultural celebrations. And I was sitting in the gap, you know, as a Black man. I'm like, man, we don't have anything for the Black community that really puts on our culture like that. So there was an opportunity that came about right after COVID when everybody was kind of counseling events and stuff like that. People were coming back outside. So we, like in 2 months, we like threw up a pop-up tent, called some band friends, put up my sound system, and we went to downtown Springdale and put on a Juneteenth celebration. And we had about 600 people that came out. It was great, but I was like, man, we may have something. It was just the energy of it. It was a small crowd, but it was just the energy of it. I felt like it was something that was fresh and something that was the community was really asking for. And for me, as a you know, kind of an advocate for the community, I listened like really intently to the community and what they're saying. And so the next year, I was like, how can I bring on all these different, how can I kind of widen the tent and bring on some more friends to put this on? And that's, you know, we had several other partners that came on, Uniform at the time, CCP at the time, you know, and from there, it just kind of, it grew from what it is then, from a 600 2-month organized event with 600 people to we start in October now, you know, before the year even starts.
Sure.
You know, so it's over a 7 to 8 month planning thing. So it's almost 5,000 people now.
Yeah.
It's one of the largest Juneteenth celebrations in the state, which we're really proud of that.
Sure. And, you know, a lot of times people see the end product of things, right? So they're like, oh man, you know, Freedom Festival is back, and probably don't even think about the time and effort that it really takes to put something like that on. When your team was working and you said, okay, we want to fill in the gap because we feel like there's a need here. Did you imagine that it would be as big as it is now? Like, what was the initial kind of hope, especially during those early stages?
I didn't, man. It was really like wholeheartedly just listen to the community and what the community was saying. They were looking for a regional celebration. They wanted to have more, you know, there used to be a Road to Essence Festival that came through here. Yes. And it was like that void was missing in Northwest Arkansas. So with me, I toured a long time, so I have a lot of, you know, big artists, connections and stuff like that. So it was easier to get into that space. It was more so of like widen the tent and finding a team to help me put it on, because everything we've done was always kind of been a smaller team, doing smaller private events and stuff like that. So we didn't think it would have gotten this big. Probably around year 3, we was like, y'all, we got something. It's going crazy.
Right.
I think we hit about 3,000 people that year. And I was like, this is crazy. Because that was that year where we kind of started to know what we were doing. We had the same team. So, we were familiar with each other. So I had a chance to kind of come out of the weeds and look at how people was feeling about it. And I would even walk around the festival site, and man, I always tell this story of this little mixed girl. Her mom was pushing a stroller, and she was holding her mom's hand, and she was like, "Mom, I've never seen so many people that look like me. This is really, really cool."
Yeah.
And it was one of those things where it stopped me in my tracks, and I was like, take this in right now.
Yeah.
Like, something is really, really cooking, and we're building something new. I have a 7-year-old and a 10-year-old kid, and for me, I learned about Juneteenth from moving to Northwest Arkansas was 4% black.
Sure.
My kids, that little girl, this is going to be their norm. They're going to expect this.
Right. They're going to be like, I grew up with Juneteenth my entire life.
Yeah. So that part of it alone is super simple, but that excited me a lot. And it really, really, while I was even tired, it really, really energized me, because, there's a time where you get to connect what you're doing to the why, to the results.
Sure.
And that was that point for me, seeing that this is something that's really, really special, and it belongs in Northwest Arkansas.
Yeah, absolutely. Give us the details for this year's event. As you're talking, I'm going to pull up Instagram, because I know that you have some stuff posted on Instagram about it.
This is our 6th annual Freedom Festival celebration, Juneteenth. We're going to be at the Luther George Park. June the 20th, Saturday, June the 20th. It starts at 3 o'clock and we'll go to 10 o'clock. So we have a huge music lineup. Everybody's always excited about. We got Rolls Royce. They working at the car wash. I love that song, so I'm excited for that. And Hurricane Chris. We have this amazing youth gospel group out of Memphis called the Brown Four.
Oh yes,
and they've been on America's Got Talent all over the place.
I just want to say they're siblings, y'all, and they are young.
They are, yes,
but baby,
they're not even teenagers yet.
The gift flows through every single one of them. So I'm really I'm excited to even meet them. So that's gonna be fun. But we got a lot of other artists and dance groups. We have the food truck experience that we always have. I tell people you can't have a black celebration without the music and the food together. Right. I mean, if you want people to stay,
you have to have it. Yeah. You have to have it. Yeah. So we'll have a slew of small businesses, food trucks, and stuff like that. That's in Northwest Arkansas and surrounding areas. We'll have a vendor experience where you can go and meet more small businesses, meet the community organizations, nonprofits that's here. Our audience is predominantly a transit community. Northwest Arkansas is a transit community. So this is a piece where we want to add so people can meet, the community that's Northwest Arkansas when they get there. We got horse riding.
Okay.
We got a kids zone. There's so many things that's going to be going on. Community Creative Center is going to be there.
Okay.
With their art and stuff like that. So we literally have something for everybody, young, old, everybody in between.
Volunteer opportunities for people, Anthony?
Yeah. So we still I think we still need about a handful of volunteers. You can go on our website. Our website is www.musicmovesar.com. You can go and get that information, sign up. There's times and jobs that we need that's there. But you can also just reach out to us on social medias, and we'll get you connected as well to our music Moves AR on Instagram, Music AR on Facebook as well too.
The event is so close.
Yeah.
What is what's your week like? The event is Saturday.
Yes.
What's your week like?
Every year I plan to have the last 2 weeks of just kind of cooling off and reviewing details. That turns into catching all the details that I missed. So just kind of putting a bow and putting the nice pieces on everything. We want to be intentional about everything we do at Juneteenth, the Freedom Festival. So this last week's we're going all over for interviews and doing all the media press as well too. I accept everything that comes in, but also just making sure my team is good and make sure my team is really good as
Sure.
well too.
Yeah.
These kind of events are a lot to take on, so I'm usually just checking and making sure my team is good
Right.
as well too.
Y'all all right?
You need a donut?
We
or
almost
coffee?
there, guys. We almost there. We almost there.
I literally
Almost there.
told my one of my staffers, I was like, I need you to be perfect this week, please. I need you to be perfect. That's the goal. And she looked at me and she was like, "Are you crazy?" And I was like, "This is what we need."
Game time.
But I got an amazing team.
Yes, you do. The details, we actually have those over on our website right now on KNWA.com, so you can check those out. 3 to 10, so get ready to party. Definitely enough things for you to do at the Freedom Festival to keep you busy all those hours. You know, you got live music, you got so many performers, art, food, all the things out there. So again, maybe if this is your first time to Freedom Festival or you're new here to Northwest Arkansas, maybe think about volunteering. Great way to meet people, get, acclimated into the community that we have here. We're going to take another quick break, and we come back. Of course, we'll talk more with Anthony, but I want you to think about just real quick in our break, Anthony, is of course America turns 250 this year, and what place you think Black music has in telling America's story. So we'll get into that when we come back with more. Here's the thing. Well, back with more. Here's the thing. In case you missed it, the one, the only, Anthony Ball joining me today as my very special guest. Anthony is really the man of the hour. He has so much going on. Saturday is the annual Freedom Festival. So lots of details there. Head over to our website right now, KNWA.com. We actually have all the details that you need to know about the event happening on Saturday, Juneteenth, of course. The actual federal holiday on Friday. I teased this a little bit, and that is, this year is America's 250th birthday. And when we talk about America's history, of course, there's no telling of America's history that does not include the minority community, the Black community. With it being Black Music Month as well, Anthony, how do you think that Black music, how does that tell the story of America's 250 years?
This is a beautiful question because we do as a nonprofit, we do our school tours and we go into the schools and we talk about music history and the impact of Black music and art as well too. Black music is not only a storyteller that's in America; it's one of the largest exports out of America. Most people don't know that. Black music is one of the largest exports around the world. So when you now know that, it's one of the biggest storytellers when it comes to the Black and the American story. But when you get down to the weeds of it, when you talk about the spirituals, gospel music, blues, jazz, even hip hop today, country music. Those are all music where there's a segment of those genres where you have protest music, you have triumph music, you have hopeful music. So I think, as we approach, because we're all talking about 250 right now. There's events that's going on, festivals, and everybody is looking at that. And we had just a direct question: how do Black people and Black history participate in that? And that's just knowing the reality of it has been one of the largest exports. When you talk about the music, music is a chronological order of its time. So when you go back to Marvin Gaye, when you go back to your Aretha Franklin, when you go back to A Change Gonna Come, Roberta Flack, all those amazing communicators, not just artists, but communicators, Billie Holiday, they were chronicalizing the times they were in. You know, so it's a beautiful thing to look at when you frame it that way.
Yeah. For this month in particular, on social media, I've been seeing a lot of, what's your favorite, Michael Jackson song? What's your favorite Luther Vandross song? So just for a second, let's have a little fun here.
Okay.
Favorite MJ song?
I need to do two.
Okay.
Human Nature.
Yes.
And Off the Wall.
Okay.
For two totally different reasons.
Okay.
Off the Wall is just the funkiest song ever that was ever created. Most people think about, Rock With You and all those other songs that's on the album, but the title track song was the most funkiest songs ever. And Human Nature, just the message behind it as well too. Like I love that song. I've covered that song in jazz bands, and we played that at devotion for church a lot of times. Man, nobody knew about it. I love that song.
Yeah. What for right now? Who is your favorite artist? It can be someone from way back. It could be someone current. Like, what is Anthony Ball listening to right now?
Man, I think so. I love the blues. And I love the blues so much. I hear it in everything. I hear it in hip hop. I hear it in gospel music, of course. I hear it in R&B. I hear it in the Chris Stapletons of the world. Like I hear it in everything. So I love storytelling. One of the greatest storytellers right now, and this may be an artist that most people wouldn't even recognize, but P.J. Morton. Is a guy. He grew up in the church. He actually he was the piano player, and he is the piano player for Maroon 5.
Okay.
But he has his own music now as well too. But when he plays piano and he sings, he gives you this Stevie Wonder, which Stevie Wonder is the greatest of all time for me. He's my GOAT. But P.J. Morton, man, he's been speaking to me, these days, man. He got some great music out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Music and food, I feel like are two ways to bring people together
100%.
Because those are things that you can agree on, I feel like, and not get upset. And it's also a way through both that you can learn something new and not be upset about it, right? I don't think there's those are two conversations I feel like that are not meant to sway, but more so to educate and learn. Is there a particular song that has helped you when you think back? Like for me, when I think about music, I always think about being a teenager. Mary J. Blige, My Life album was very, very pivotal for me. Why? Like, here I am going through first world problems. That's probably, I'm like 15 maybe at the time. But I mean, she was just in so much pain. You could just hear it. You can just hear it in her voice. And, singing about my life and love. And those are the same things I was going through. I mean, not really. She was like a full blown adult. So we're not the same, but we are in that moment. Like, Mary, you feel me.
Yes.
And also, Alanis Morissette, Jagged Little Pill just really, really speaks to a very angsty Jaclyn who really just wanted to yell everything. And so she listening to that particular album was really, really like top tier for me at the time because she was able to say all the things that I had bottled up inside me, and she said it in the way that I wish that I could. She had the voice, like I don't want to say scream, but I mean, she was able to portray like her story in the way that I wish that I could at the octaves that I wish that I could. So when I think about like music that has really kind of like touched me, I think about those two.
I think about artists. Again, I love storytelling. So I grew up on the Temptations. You got to understand, I'm from the South, and my grandfather was a barber. He had that old school barbershop with the big chairs and the old school boom box and the checkers in the corner. That was my grandfather. So like, I love the Temptations. I was even blessed with the opportunity to perform with the Temptations in the early 2012 or something like that. But Stevie Wonder is another as well too.
Yeah.
Stevie Wonder, I feel like Stevie Wonder is the greatest artist of all time. Like when you're talking about songwriting, playing instruments, the performance piece of it as well too. I think about him. and maybe an earlier artist. I really love Jill Scott as well too.
Yeah.
You know, and even early you got like Jasmine Sullivan as well too. Like I love storytellers.
Yeah.
You know, those folks can sing their ABCs and you gonna cry. Or you gonna
That's
party. They can
Either
do
way,
all of it. You
they
gonna
can make you
party
feel-
or
yes.
you gonna cry. They're gonna make you
Yes.
feel whatever they want to feel. So
Yeah.
I love those kind of artists.
There's just something about music, again,
Yeah.
I think that just really touches people just to the soul level.
Mm.
Because no matter what you're going through, I feel like that is just one of the avenues that people seek out, because it's just either you're listening to, it's the words that are touching you, it's the way that the artist is delivering it, it's the music that's helping you feel some kind of way. But music is just, it's such a great tool in bringing people together, but then also just helping you feel and go through whatever it is that you're going through. I feel like there is a song out there for every
Absolutely.
piece of emotion that
Absolutely.
maybe you would be going through.
Absolutely. You know, you mentioned two words that kind of popped up because we use them all the time. You use unifier and you use tool. We get to go into the schools with our nonprofit Music Moves, and that's the goal. We use music to teach people and storytell. Earlier on, when I was just a musician, traveling musician, I knew the power of music when it comes to bringing people together. Later on, after I got a little bit older, I was like, man, especially after COVID, and people weren't coming out anymore, I felt a sense of responsibility, not only just to just bring people together, but how do you transform a person after you've brought them in this room? You know, we do shows and it's hundreds and thousands of people, and that feels like a responsibility, especially after the pandemic where people didn't want to come outside anymore. So we get to go and talk to young people, and you know, we get these, you know, feedback and surveys back from teachers, and we get I was just looking at something last night, just gearing up for our festival. So one teacher at Washington Elementary, and she was the librarian, and she said, man, it was just one kid that I couldn't pull them away from the teacher because they saw themselves and they've never been engaged in an assembly like that. And then we went to a high school in Springdale, and you know how hard it is to talk to high school kids.
Right.
And it was, those kids didn't want us to leave. Like we had the school assembly, and then afterwards we sat and talked for probably about an hour. I missed like 2 meetings. I had to like cut them. And because it was so important to be with those young people in that moment, they were so hungry for like growth and knowledge. And this was an alternative school. So these are kids that maybe come from difficult, situations where maybe they may be the adult in the house, and they got to take care of their brothers and their sisters, or, you know, they may have gotten into make some bad decisions and stuff like that. And those kids want to be business owners. Those kids want to be husbands and wives. And it was such an amazing thing. But you know, one of the secretaries, she came up to me and she was like, "We've never had a presentation at our assembly that kids were that zoned in that where we had to pull them out of the gym so you guys could go." And it was just a testament to how powerful music is. We talk about music and food. You got food allergies.
That's true.
You know?
That's
like,
true.
Their music is the greatest unifier ever, the greatest tool ever. It's just to pull people together, you know, whether it's to celebrate people, maybe it's for a sad occasion, maybe it's for a heartbreak. There's a song for everything, you know, and you can even put it in your own language if you want to. You know, it's the greatest unifier. I this past week, I was a part of, Walmart shareholders.
Yes.
And man, it was people from Chile and Africa, South Africa, China, Mississippi, and, and everybody was dancing under the sound of music, you know. And I don't think if it was some chicken and steak and fish, I don't think you're gonna get that same draw. You know, like there's something about music that really, really unifies us.
Yeah.
You know,
What was that experience like? There were several bands that you managed that
yeah,
were able to entertain the Walmart associates from around the world. I
yeah.
mean, how do you even approach that, right? Because do you have to worry about a certain genre, or do you find that no matter what you play, it's received?
I think when you yes to all of it. You know, these people come from everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
man. But this is just a testament of how powerful music is. We didn't change our set list at all.
Mm.
We still played the same 60 songs, 100 songs pulled from that same list because music travels.
Yeah.
You know, so they listen to Bruno Mars here, they listen to Bruno Mars in China.
Mm-hmm.
They listen to Beyonce here, they listen to Beyonce in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, and that was even more of a testament and evident to me that music is the unifier.
Yeah.
You know, and we just celebrated people. We had people's come up with flags. We taking flags and we waving them with them.
Yeah.
You know, but it was a great event, man. It was a great opportunity. Really, really great opportunity. But man, for me, I look at things differently now.
Yeah.
You know, my mental has kind of shifted of how powerful music is. From music used to just be more therapeutic for me, and bringing my people together. You know, your boys come over, you ride in the car, you put some music on.
Right.
You know, your family and your aunties and your uncles and your family dinner, you put some music on. It was just a theme of bringing people together.
Sure.
But now it's just like it's transformative now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and just looking at it that way.
Yeah. And I love that you said that transformative, because when you talk about going into the schools and talking to the kids, music, and I feel like the arts are really kind of a lot of times the ones that, when we got to get rid of something, it's that. And as an art form, and the way you just described it, like, how can that be? How can something that is meant to educate us all, yes, but then also bring us together, how can that be on the chopping block when it's evident in front of our eyes how transformative it is?
You know, it's wild, man. That's something I've been looking at, because as you look to make a difference, and as you think about how people learn. How did you learn your ABCs? You learn through singing.
And still, when people say your ABCs, you sing your ABCs. You don't say
Absolutely.
A, B, A,
Absolutely.
B, C. You know what I mean? Yes.
And oftentimes you see the teacher of the year on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, that they taught their class some hard, complex thing by giving it a song.
Sure.
You know, but I was just on a panel discussion, this leadership panel discussion, and I sat beside a ED for a children's shelter that advocates for kids that's been in really, really tough environments.
Sure.
And it was another person, they were both, it was about kids. It was feeding kids, and but I'm sitting here as the music person, right? And it's if you look with your new eyes, or your old eyes rather, let's say that your old eyes, it would say those two individuals are essential, and that music guy is there for fun. But now I'm changing that. My new eyes say music and art is essential. And we even talked to those two ED girls, because they were like, they said, thank you for what you guys do. It's important. And the message was, yeah, let's give these kids some food. Let's give them some clothes and put them on their backs. But how do we give them purpose? How do we give them confidence? When you bring them into how do you teach them expression? That's so important. Now we're talking about whole health now.
Yes.
Like it's not enough to give a person something to eat. It's not enough to give them a shirt or a jacket and shoes. How do you give people purpose? And I think music absolutely does that. It gives you confidence. It gives you expression. So I think we have to start having those conversations a lot more, and then we won't have those conversations about where music has to be the first thing that gets cut. Because I don't think we understand the power of what it does. Even though you don't have to, I tell people, you don't have to be a touring musician. You don't have to put out records.
Mm-hmm.
Music itself, it teaches you how to learn. It teaches you how to be confident. It teaches you expression, and it teaches you how to be innovative, creative, and all those same things. After I started looking over these things, I'm like, these are the type of things that create Sam Waltons.
Mm.
You know, these are the same type of things that create entrepreneurs, that create, because now people are talking about, especially with, now we're getting into a whole another thing now, but when you talk about, societal and how do you work with, you got a new generation that maybe not be as comfortable with people,
Sure,
and team building and stuff like that. Your leaders you're gonna need leaders that may have been in band in high school. You're gonna need leaders that may have played in a band, and they've grown these tools that you get from music. Those are a lot of soft skills that you learn that makes you very, very productive. Some of my board members are musicians, but they run a commercial real estate company. They are a musician, but they're a bank president. So these are things that really, really build the wholeness of a person.
sure. We're gonna take another quick break, and then we come back. I hope I upload this video correct. We're gonna do a little walk down memory lane. You and I, Anthony. So that's what we'll get into when we come back with more. Here's the thing. Welcome back. Still have more time on today's episode. Here's the thing, the one, the only Anthony Ball with Music Moves, Smooth Man Productions. Anthony, what other titles am I missing?
Oh, that's good enough. That's good enough.
Anthony, I thought it would be fun to go down memory lane. So this year, I've been at KNWA for 10 years.
Wow.
The first probably 2 or so years I spent behind the scenes. I was a web producer, so I wrote a lot of web stories, and social media was it was just starting to pop off. So I would take pictures of people who would come, in the morning and post them on our social media. My role from there grew because somebody thought it was a good idea to put me on TV. I hope they have not regretted that decision.
Give that guy a raise or that girl a raise.
But
She's
one
a
of the
star
things that I have been really blessed to do is have opportunities to have really tough sometimes and really great community conversations. So years ago, after George Floyd, we were in the pandemic and there was just so much happening and it weighed very heavy on me. And I was like, what can I do here in Northwest Arkansas to really spread awareness about people of color who are really making an impact in our community? Because my thought was maybe people just need more exposure to people of color, and maybe there won't be so much fear. So I talked to my managers and we launched what was called Voices of Courage. It first started off as a town hall. We invited some community leaders just to kind of talk through some tough conversations because, it's pandemic. George Floyd had just happened, and there were other instances, of course, with police and the Black community. And we were like, who are some people who we feel like could really help bring these conversations together and then teach people how they can also have these same conversations. And I know a lot of us were thinking. Lo and behold, one of the first people that, of course, I thought of was none other than Mr. Anthony Ball. This is actually a clip, Anthony. I don't know if you remember this conversation, but this was just so important to me. When we were thinking about people who were in the community, you were one of the first people that we thought of. There had been a protest, if you remember, in Fayetteville. I don't even know if I want to call it a protest. I feel like it was more of a community gathering of people who were just very passionate and just wanting to make sure that the things that we were seeing on TV from a national standpoint weren't happening here in Fayetteville and in Northwest Arkansas. And not to say that they were or weren't, it's just how can we all come together to make sure that our community stays unified through
Yeah.
all of this and through everything that everybody is feeling. And so you were one of those voices that we called upon. And so not only are you bringing people together with music, but you're also advocating for just a better community here in Northwest Arkansas. And so the question here is, which took me a long time to get to, the advocacy work that you are doing. Is that something that was intentional, or just something you just so happen you think to fall into because you were passionate?
Yeah, that's just something. That's just something that just happened. You know, the backstory behind that whole thing. You know, my man, I gotta hold myself together on this one. This is crazy. You're bringing back a lot of memories. But before the Fayetteville protest, there was the Bentonville Square protest, and I had my two nephews in town from Blauville, and you know, Eastern Arkansas, the culture is much different than Northwest Arkansas. For one, you know, there's a lot more of a welcoming culture here in Northwest Arkansas. Much better, you know, collaborative spirit here, I think. When it across race from race to race. So when I saw the protest going on in Bentonville, it was great, man. I saw my friends with their baby strollers and you know all those things. So I was like, man, let me go down here and be a good uncle. And I wanna show them, you know, the world is a beautiful place and it can be a beautiful place. Now, if you know the story of the Bentonville Square story, it ended in a ruined fashion. You know, somebody threw something, and then from that point on, the sheriff department ransacked the whole square. So my nephews and I feel like I may have had my daughter with me as well too. I picked her up and we ran to my truck. Long story short, from that part, my nephew, he's a football player in Blauville. He tore his ACL running from those smoke bombs or whatever that they sprayed the downtown with. So we had that happen. So when I heard there was another one that was going to happen in Fayetteville, I had a relationship with the police department already, and I wanted to reach out and make sure that didn't happen in Fayetteville. I felt like that was not a representation of who we are in Northwest Arkansas, and we could have been better, you know, when that happened. So I kind of got in front of it. It introduced me to the organizers, man, these young kids, probably 16, 17, 18-year-old kids tops. And they were a thoughtful, you know, group. And so we kind of just talked through all the things, and then the event happened. And it was such a beautiful event. You know, it happened the way it's supposed to happen. You know, I've always given Fayetteville a lot of credit for just being in the community and being a part of the community. I love, I'm a huge advocate of community policing. My uncle was a police officer. I have, you know, cousins that are police officers. I have god brothers that are police officers. So I've always kind of stood in that gap to say, hey, this may be the difference that we can make to make sure that your police are from the community and or in the community, so they know who they serve. I feel like that was a disconnect to what happened from the sheriff department in Bentonville. But long story short, I fell into that. Like it was one of those situations where I felt a responsibility for my nephews. I felt the responsibility for my kids. I felt the responsibility from the people that did the same thing for me when I was younger. You know, like what I did, what I felt like my father and my uncles and my aunties would have done if it was us. You know, so I want to get in front of it and make sure that that it was safe, that people can come and express their American right to assemble. Because that's what it was. It was a city assembly. It was a beautiful assembly. People sang, you know, people spoke, and that's what it was. And the police stood right with us in support for it as well too. You know, so it was just one of those things where I just felt the responsibility, knowing the people that was a part of those events.
Sure. And for me, from there, that Voices of Courage series I did for almost a year. You were my first story. You can actually still find that story about you over on our website. I was actually looking at it today. Your kiddos were so little, Anthony.
Oh,
They
wow.
were so little.
Oh, wow.
But again, just always appreciate you being just such an advocate for our community. One thing too, as we begin to wrap, is responsibility. And having the responsibility of being that person, does it weigh heavy? And when it does, what are some things you do to level set, right? Because the work doesn't stop and it's work that you love. But when it becomes heavy, what are some things that you do for Anthony, maybe just to kind of level set and be like, okay, I'm feeling all the things, but I gotta keep going?
Yeah, I think I'm still learning that. You know, I'm a pretty public person when it comes to my business, but personally, I don't put out a whole lot outside of, you know, just people just praising my wife and kids all the time. But when it comes to me, I'm pretty private. But last year, I had an incident where I was hospitalized, and I found out I had diabetes, and I went to a diabetic coma. And I was in the ICU for 3 days. And from that experience, it gave me a time to slow down and really think about how I was doing things. Now, people say advocate and they use these words. Like I think we have a social contract with each other if we live right next to each other to look out for one another. And I think it's as simple as that. I don't think that makes you an advocate. I think that makes you a good community member. And you get what you give. So if I'm not giving anything, there's not much I'm gonna get back. So I'm doing the things I would want my neighbors to do as well too. But when it comes to myself, I really, really started trying to take care of myself a lot more.
Sure.
I had to slow down a little bit. You know, I think when you're younger, you try to be the answer to everything, and you want it to be immediate wisdom and
Right.
lived experience say you can't do it all by yourself, and you can't do it immediately. Some things just takes time. So I think first you got to have that mental shift, you know, from the youthful mentality to just lived experience. But now, like I mentioned earlier, I go for my walks now. I can tell when I haven't had my walk because I get irritated. But a lot of people love outdoors in Northwest Arkansas, and during the pandemic, I learned about outdoors in a different way. I love to fish, I love to do stuff like that, but just going for a walk and just going to a creek and watching the water, you know, roll off the rocks. That's peaceful moments for me. Turning my phone off for a couple minutes. Those are peaceful times. I think we're so inundated with so much screen time, whatever that looks like, you know, at your desk, on TikTok, everything in between, you know. So, but when you get quiet, we had a sound bath event at the Music Depot this past Sunday. And
love.
it was amazing.
Oh my gosh.
It was such an amazing experience.
Yes.
It was the whole thing about just sitting quiet and listening to your surrounding. Man, people fell asleep.
Yep.
People cried.
Oh my gosh.
People were just relaxed and just still. It was an amazing experience. I would encourage everybody to have one of those experiences.
Yeah, I did one in a cocoon.
What?
And
a cocoon?
Yeah, so you know, Cocoon Yoga Lab used to be in Bentonville.
Okay.
It's not there anymore in 8th Street Market, but I used to go there regularly.
Wow.
And because you could do aerial yoga there, you know, they had like I don't know the correct terms for it, but essentially, yes.
Oh
yes.
my goodness.
So essentially they had, I'm calling it cocoon, but I know that's not the right term, that the scarves and stuff that you use. So Tammy used to teach aerial
Oh my goodness.
sound baths. Unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Tammy, please come back and do aerial sound baths. Amazing. I would fall asleep. I mean,
oh my goodness.
amazing. We could get off at a whole tangent about that. Sorry, but highly recommend you do a sound bath.
But those are the things that, I mean, again, I grew up in the South. West Memphis, Arkansas, we don't know nothing about no sound baths. We go outside, we hear mosquitoes and crickets chirping.
Yes, cicadas.
And that's good. That can be beautiful as well too, outside of mosquito bites. But man, it was such an experience. And so like now I prioritize things like that. I watch LeBron James off court a lot. And he talked about, everybody talks about how he spent $2 million on his body. And I'm like, of course, I don't have $2 million, but can you spend $50 a month on your body? Can you spend $100 on your body? Can you go to the park and just spend and let it cost time?
Sure.
I think if we slow down and take those moments in, there's a lot that we can learn about ourselves. There's a lot you can learn in silence.
Yeah. Anthony Ball, the man, the myth, the legend, gracing us today with his presence and wisdom and knowledge on Here's the Thing. Anthony, I appreciate you. I appreciate you very, very much. I love you too. And keep it up. Good luck this weekend. I know we were talking. There's so many things happening this weekend that they're happening all at the same time. So I'm sad. I'm going to miss Freedom Festival.
Can I do something real quick?
Yeah.
So we do after, of course, after Freedom Festival, that's something else, right?
Right.
June the 27th at the Music Depot, we're going to do our first Jazz and Arts Festival.
Okay.
All day from 10 o'clock to 10 o'clock.
Okay.
We're starting early. Bring the kids, bring the families. We're going to do some of our curriculum jazz stuff that's participatory, but we're also going to have some amazing artists and some amazing jazz groups and stuff like that as well too. So put that on your calendars. It's already up on our website, but it's June the 27th at the Music Depot from 10 to 10, Northwest Arkansas Jazz Arts Festival.
You heard it right there. Anthony, I appreciate you. We're going to take one more break, and then I'm going to say a quick goodbye when we come back from Here's the Thing. All right, that's all the time that I have today for Here's the Thing. You know the drill. Download our 479 First streaming channel. That is the only way you can see shows like Here's the Thing, as well as other digital exclusive content from our KNWA and Fox 24 team. That's all for today. I will see you next week. Until then, TTFN, ta-ta for now.